The basic Active Directory administration tools that you're going to use most of the time are already loaded for you, and you're going to find them on the Start bar. If you click on Start Administrative Tools, you're going to notice right up here ADSI Edit, Active Directory Users and Computers, Active Directory Sites and Services, and Domains and Trust. Now, you will not see these unless you have made the computer that you're on when you click on Start. On that computer, if you have installed the domain services and you have promoted that machine using DC Promo to be a domain controller. You can remote in with these tools to another machine, but there's some other things that you'll have to do, and I don't want to get into that right now. But on these administrative tools, I just want to go through them right quick. Active Directory Users and Computers are where you're probably going to spend 80 to 90% of your time as an Active Directory administrator. This is where most of the changes and configurations happen. Your users, your groups, your computers. And if you click on that, we've been in there already in the course. You probably already know what this looks like. And you can see your Active Directory domain and all the objects in it, the computers, the domain controllers, which is what my computer is, foreign security principals, users, and then on each one of these we can right click and we can do all kinds of things to this particular user. Notice we can disable the account, reset the password, move them to a different organizational unit. We haven't really talked about those yet in the course. I can go to properties and I can see, notice all kind of properties, and we will come back and look at users a little bit later in a different video. But this is the Active Directory Users and Computers tool, and I do want to bring to your attention, if you'll look at the toolbar up here, the action pane over here, I can turn this on or off. And it's a good idea to turn it on because what they've done here, notice if I right click, I get a number of these tasks and places I can go. Well, if I'll just click right here, I can get to a lot of those same things, and sometimes some different ones. And in some cases, you will actually see these right-click commands just listed over here, and I can just go click on them. So you'll just have to play with that and see how it works in your particular situation. On the toolbar up here, if you'll notice, there's also some cool buttons that I can use to create a new user. I can just click this, and it brings me up to that particular functionality, create a new group, create a new organizational unit, set filtering, search for things in Active Directory. So investigate these and play with them and see what you've got up there. Now let's look at some of the other tools. You will spend some of your time from time to time in sites and services. And this is where we deal with Active Directory sites and our subnets and so forth. Those you tend to kind of working on the installation and configuration. They tend to be left alone. Domains and Trust are the same way. But notice you can go in to your Domains and Trust. We don't have a whole lot going on there yet. And then there's also a tool out here called ADSI Edit. And this lets you really drill into your Active Directory structure. So notice if we go into the users, the administrator user class, if I hit on properties here, click on properties rather, you can see all the attributes for that class. And so you can see how many pieces of information are being stored in Active Directory. And this can be rather informative to spend a few minutes going through noticing what all Active Directory is storing on each individual user. So those are the 4 basic tools. Now there are some others, and from time to time you will be directed to them by various support white papers and stuff, and some tools you have to copy files onto your machine. You can look in the tools folder on the Windows Server 2008 DVD, and you can find some other tools. Some of them you have to register in the registry and then they'll show up. Just be aware of these tools, and we're going to use each one of these quite a bit as we go through some of the other movies here as we're talking about creating and maintaining Active Directory objects. Now you're going to get quite a few questions on the exam about all this stuff. Just make sure you're familiar with the tools. Make sure you, when you go sit down to take that exam, you have created a user, you've created an organizational unit, you've played with Active Directory users and computers especially. So we'll just kind of go through that step by step in a number of videos here.